match, but it's still a very important and also a very hype match.
This is a high-quality match that I've been looking forward to. And right off the bat, it's just a piece of heart in Link's house.
Doing the opposite routing too, so we get to know. Early bombs in Sanctuary, those are always good to find. Pika doing the south route, so probably hoping to farm a couple bombs here from the bushes.
Looks like Sanctuary comes out at the Smith's Cave, or the Bat Cave, I should say.
We had a quick map check. Hera was the blue pendant, Eastern was Crystal 5, and Desert was a Crystal as well, I believe.
Yeah, one of the less interesting crystals.
Hey, that big bomb is seemingly coming into play a little bit more than it usually has with the addition to the new logic, in my humble opinion.
Well, since you're a racer in this tournament, I think your opinion's a bit more than humble, and Gem has found the cape quite early.
Yeah, blind move to the bar. It's not a bad place to live. There was the Smith over in the shop. It's a different type of shop today. There's Ice Palace.
Ice Palace at the Angry Brothers house? Yes.
That's the race game. Oh, I guess that's Angry Brothers, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I may be using a slightly different term on that.
I've played so much Shuffle, I don't know the vanilla locations anymore. It's scrambled my brain. Alright, so our runners won't be short of bombs these races, or money. They have easy ways to farm both of them.
Yeah, that's right. So for those who are tuning in and wondering what the heck is going on with all these doorways, we are playing Entrance Shuffle today. So that means all the doors are swapped around. This is also randomizer, so all the items are swapped around. Almost nothing is where you'd expect to find it. One of the exceptions being that door at the back of the bar. That can only lead to the back of the bar.
And Link's house. Those are the only two.
Of course.
Chat's informing us too that the Ice Trot game was at race game, so either you have to find the mirror and access to the Dark World to get it, which well, the mirror is seemingly tough to find in full Shuffle, or they have to find that exit, which could be anywhere.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's of course, it's not entirely guaranteed they'll need the ice rod, but the odds are reasonable. So both players doing a fairly standard opening of making their way to Kakariko quickly and checking through as much as they can. Kakariko has the most entrances by far, if I understand right.
Yes. Is that Hyrule Castle at the left side of the
right side of the longhouse, yeah.
Right side, okay.
And that takes Gem straight up onto the mountain.
Looks like Jim is gonna go ahead and clear this out for items. He is he's got 15 bombs, feels comfortable enough to do it. It's a little tricky sometimes killing these guards with just bombs, but he didn't hesitate doing this at all.
No, I think he's a strong enough runner he can pull this off. For those in chat who are looking at this and going, what? This is weird. Gem doesn't have a sword. Neither runner starts with a sword in these races.
He did pick up the heart there from the pot to farm the guard, but I think he might... doesn't really matter that much, but I imagine he's gonna probably want to Death Warp here, so... Maybe you wouldn't want a heart, but I guess if you bomb yourself a little bit, it doesn't matter. Wow, Bottle Vendor's selling a ripoff today.
I missed that. What was he holding?
50 rupees, so...
What a jerk.
Yes. It's a good business, that's profit.
I should go into business with that bottle vendor. So I think PikaPals in a second here is going to come upon Hyrule Castle as well, and we'll see what he does with that information.
Ooh. The left side of the Elder House there was actually a bumper cave. And then our players have been gifted an early cape too. That makes you wonder a little bit.
Yeah, no magic to go with it yet, but...
Yeah.
And Gem, of course, taking the Death Warp to get out of there as fast as he can. He did find the mushroom before he passed away, though.
₹3, unfortunately, is not enough to gamble.
No. But the Tower of Hera is on East Death Mountain as well. So he can have a stab at that. He may not get very far, though.
Once he gets a big key in this next chest, his time here is pretty much done. He does, though, so he can check 2 more chests. Probably hoping to find either a sword or a hammer, but...
Yeah, with either of those, he can actually finish the dungeon. It's a lower priority to finish with only Moldorm here. Or, I'm sorry, with only a pendant behind Moldorm, but...
Smart, too. He opts to fall down. This resets the pot, but doesn't reset the enemies, since he doesn't have a way to actually attack them. And bombs won't kill these things, it'll only freeze them.
Yeah, when you can run into dungeons 5 minutes in, and you start with no sword, you have to get very creative in how you're killing enemies in this mode.
PikaPals also making good work of collecting the items in the high roll here without his damage source either. Okay, Jim going for the bomb jump here. So such a tricky bomb jump to line up, especially without the boots. You have to be on the right pixel to get over, and if you happen to accidentally fall in, if you don't have a mirror, you either have to kill yourself or save and quit out.
Looks like Gem's going for the Death Warp. So if I understand that right, he was still holding down the sword button to line himself up for the jump, even though he doesn't have a sword.
Yes. They only got 1 item out of Hera.
So do you think we'll see them dropping off that mushroom pretty soon?
Sanctuary was at the Smith location?
It was, yes.
Yeah, I could see them definitely going back to Sanctuary and then checking Kakariko and then probably wrapping that all the way around to the Witch's Hut to drop off that mushroom. It's definitely better to do it sooner than later because you have no idea when you're going to run across that potion shop guy because he could be anywhere. Ooh, that's a wonderful spawn up at the top of the mountain, so...
Yeah. So, both players now have found Turtle Rock, it looks like, which seems to be a crystal. And Gem's making his way well into Spectacle Rock, but just for some bombs.
He's going for the bomb jump here. Wow, I didn't know you could do it from that pixel. This is a wonderful sequence break to have in Shuffle here. And it did get him over in Spiral Cave, so at least he doesn't have to hop down that one again. PikaPals finding his Spectacle Rock too.
So Death Mountain is kind of just madness in this mode because there are so many entrances and they connect in so many ways. You might just find the Eastern Palace on a random edge for Spectacle Rock. How do you keep track of this all while you're playing it?
You need to have an excellent memory or take really good notes. Alright, well, Jim got the single arrow, so his run's validated.
Yeah, that one's out of the way.
Ooh. I hope that doesn't go to haunt Jim, because the bottom of Spectacle Rock leads you up to Hyrule Castle.
And it looks like PikaPals went inside and just found a dark room. It is probably not the old man cave that he found, but Jem did find the fire rod in Eastern. So yeah, if PikaPals had had some magic, he could have gone through the barrier and seen what's in Aghanim's tower.
Ooh, that's very true too, with that early cave. PikaPals finding Kakariko Well over in the escape drop-down, so that'll be 5 items for him.
Yeah. But I think this turn for Jem is going to pay off. At the very least, he'll come out of this with Fire Rod.
Yes. And we know where the Ice Rod is, too. We also know where Total Rock's at, so we're looking at, you know, a cane from, and I guess a weapon source from being able to complete Total Rock.
Yeah, and it is Crystal. We could hear from the music earlier, so we could see an early Turtle Rock depending on how the rest of this plays out. Of course, it's too early to say.
And I believe that was the powder over in Kakariko Well, which is nice also because we know where that is, and then Ganon is moved in the castle, it looks like. Or Ganon's tower, rather.
Setting up shop, not pretending to hide in the shadows. The flute for PikaPals and the Moon Pearl. That is a strong start to Ganon's tower.
That's huge, getting that flute too before you've begin your exploration of the overworld and the light world for the most part. So he definitely has a more efficient way to travel around and check all those entrances kind of tucked away in the corners.
There are so many entrances in this game. Yeah, he's going to have to use a lot of that, or he's going to be able to leverage this flute and get to a lot of those places. For the record, it looks like the tracker is not displaying things properly. I can see the tracker interface and everything is clicked there. So it's not the tracker being lazy, it's something not getting fed over properly. I'm sure we'll have that fixed up pretty soon.
It looks like it just updated.
Yeah, here it starts to come through.
Super Bunny Cave, not providing too much outside of the full magic refill, though. That's always nice to have early.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing PikaPals could have used a few minutes ago when he was on top of Hyrule Castle.
Oh, and here's Thieves Town. Oh, man. But, like, Jim really thought whether or not he wanted to do this. I think he's probably at the point where he's tired of dipping into dungeons he can't complete. I'll be very curious if he decides to take this the full way around, or if he just wants to check the first 4 and dip out.
Yeah, he's being forced to do a number of double dips here, and Thieves Town's probably going to be no exception to that unless he finally comes up with a sword or some other form of damage.
PikaPals finding Mimic Cave. That was in the cave in the back of the forest. I think that's a gambling hut, if I recall.
Yes, normally a gambling hut.
Outside of Dark World access, Lumberjack is only locking 10 arrows, so perhaps Aga 1 will not be required. And there's the dam right next to Lumberjack.
So just a bloomerang, but at least he's going to have that dam open in case he needs to do swamp later.
And he'll also find it before he's been to the area. That's a very easily forgotten item in shuffle mode, because this does unlock an item next to dam location itself that's under the water.
That's right. For those that haven't seen this before, once you pull the dam in entrance shuffle, it stays open for the rest of the game. So if you go down there the first time and you haven't opened the dam, you will miss an item and have to come back later.
Looks like Jim will be escorting the old man in the dark. This is really nice in shuffle mode because this does give you two entrance and exits that you may not typically be able to access unless you do it. Having the flute, though, does kind of negate a little bit of its value. Whenever he finds the flute, that is. Ooh, he gets a glove from it, too. That's fantastic.
So that's a small sequence break. He's technically not required to go through that dark room, but it'll certainly be worthwhile. And it looks like he's found the other side of Bumper Cave in the old man's normal cave. So at least we know where that leads.
That's a convenient magic refill right there. If you need full magic, just flute the one.
Yeah, so Turtle Rock at the start of Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's those gloves there are very interesting. Either those were supposed to be mitts, or the lamp should be probably somewhere pretty close, I would imagine.
That's the kind of thing I start thinking when I do a sequence break and I find something that critical. I start thinking, okay, my lamp's got to be around here pretty soon.
Jim is making sure he's loaded up on bombs. He doesn't have a weapon source still, so he's like, maybe I'll need quite a few of these. 17 is quite a lot.
Jem deciding he does not need any more rupees. 635 is plenty for now.
At this point, that's probably good enough to get you through the run. It's not quite enough, but you'll probably find a couple along the way.
Certainly means they're not going to need to farm for quite some time. PikaPals is just finding a ferry at Sahasrarlo's hut, and I think he's going to head over to the Eastern Palace entrance now. So yeah, we are seeing a fair route divergence so far between these two. PikaPals finding Mire at Eastern Palace.
No music on that, so don't know if it's a pendant or crystal.
Unfortunately not, no.
It's almost a 50% chance it's either of them at this point. Got 5 dungeons left, and 2 of them have to be pendants. I didn't check whether or not Pika had turned in his mushroom yet.
He did drop it off.
Good.
I think. At the very least, he was by the witch hut and he was talking to the witch. So if he didn't drop it off, something weird happened.
I missed how Jim got over here.
The right exit of Hyrule Castle dropped him out the right side of the Desert Palace.
Nice.
So a handy little warp there that doesn't really lead to a lot. All that he found in Agina's cave was a shopkeeper.
kind of get nice to get dropped off in this corner, because then you can just kind of make a straight line all the way through South Shore.
And find the shovel in Checkerboard Cave. That's actually a pretty nice place to find it.
It's going to bring Pika down to the bottom of the mountain. He'll probably opt to explore a little bit here, and I know he's very comfortable with dark rooms also, so this will probably lead him to his glove, which I'm sure he'll be very happy to have.
Yeah, that's right. At this point in the tournament, I think all the runners left are fairly comfortable with dark rooms. So if they don't come upon the lamp pretty organically, we're going to see a lot of impressive dark room play. Or rather, not see it.
Yeah. At this point, I think he'd check quite a few entrances and exits up on that side. You know that one of these dark rooms has to be the old man escort, because you have to turn in the old man at that bottom cave on Death Mountain, and there can only be so many options available.
That's right. So Jem turned in a shovel, just $300 for him. So he is far, far out of the realm of money he needs.
PikaPals grabbing his glove.
So Jem has found the King's Tomb at the Kakariko Fortune Teller, but it's just a piece of heart.
Pals will get his Super Bunny Cave. 2 items, and he doesn't need the magic since he already found the front entrance to Turtle Rock. But he could always use the money. And a boomerang upgrade.
Jem checking the tree pulls and just getting some arrows. So one of the things I love about Entrance Shuffle, compared to normal randomizer, is you can see both players got up to Death Mountain and returned the old man through 2 different routes. They both sequence broke to do it, but Jem did it through Death Mountain and PikaPals did it through the Bumper Cave.
I told myself I'd pay attention to which exit this was to get into Thieves Town, and I missed it both times. I think it's is it the one right before the stairs up?
It must be. We're gonna say that. We're gonna say that and be confident in it.
There wasn't much in these first 4 chests either. I think just 300 rupees.
That's right.
We'll be curious if Pika will decide to go a little bit further here.
Yeah, without a sword or hammer or cane, he's not beating this dungeon. Looks like he's death warping on purpose here. So he won't go for the rest of it.
Ooh. There's Swamp Palace and the one of the more commonly forgotten spots in Entrance Shuffle for whatever reason.
That was the Death Mountain entrance?
Yes.
Yeah. And I could see where PikaPals came out of Thieves Town. It is the left side drop down to Spectacle Rock.
Oh, okay, so right next to Eastern.
That's correct. Right next to where he's headed now.
It looks like both of them have pretty much the same idea here. They are really just scouring in all these dungeons they can't complete, just looking for any sort of momentum. I Imagine at this point they're like, can I get a hammer, a fighter sword, anything, just any stick to hit something with.
Please give me something to kill people with. Or kill enemies with, I should say. Fire Rod was right where PikaPals just found it, in the eastern part of the Eastern Palace.
Ooh, there's the mitts. Okay, so I think that glove they'd gotten from Old Man was actually supposed to be the mitts, relative to the logic.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm also starting to think maybe they were supposed to get that glove very late in the run.
Yeah. That makes tracking down that lamp much more difficult. Now there's a variety of places it could be.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't think either runner's going to need the lamp, as I said, but...
That also gives them Dark World access, too. Well, at least assuming whenever Jim goes into Hyrule to find his flute and Moon Pearl. Which all but eliminates... there's still a chance, but I think for the most part, Aga 1 might be not happening this seed.
That seems incredibly likely at this point.
But I still think with no hammer and no flippers, they wouldn't have a way to get to the northeastern Dark World.
That's correct and still possible. So Gem is also finding where the well is now. So he's going to loop around, drop back into that, and get 5 items that weren't too great. I guess the powder is one of them.
Powder's a pretty good item to have. You're not going to get any utility from it from the Batcave, but having it for safety is always nice to have.
Yeah, having it for safety when you have no other weapons is very nice.
Yeah. Got his flute and his pearl now. Only 20 rupees on the island.
PikaPals exploiting the fact that you can drop off that ledge and very briefly see what's on that island, even if you can never catch it.
He's might be going South Shore now. I don't think either of our runners have done it.
No, and so they'll be able to do the mini Moldorm cave, and then with the glove, 3 caves up by the Ice Rod cave.
I would say there's potential too to see some fake flippering to either Hobo or Zora, considering it is within the realms of the logic.
I'd be very surprised if they didn't do that.
Also, too, I believe that's going to make Ganon at its vanilla location. I think we've checked all of the drop downs in the Light World, so I believe Ganon is going to be in the castle.
That's what it's looking like, yeah. So we'll see that weird thing where they climb up through the top of Hyrule Castle, beat a Ganon, warp to the Dark World, and end up at Ganon without moving.
This is also still really early in the seed and hasn't quite, we have plenty of things still left to check. A very troll location right now would be having your first weapon source being at Hera, locked by the... Actually, I don't know if they got the key or not. I couldn't remember.
They did not get a small key in Hera yet. That small key is locked behind Moldorm.
Never mind then.
But in principle, I do think that would be a very troll and amusing to see location.
It'd be really interesting to have to go dip into Hera another time without a weapon source, just to go light those torches to get a weapon source.
That's, I totally agree.
Oh yeah, Ice Palace is totally on the table here. That first chest and Ice Palace, for some reason, has been money. Alright. Got a shield now. No sword, but at least you got a shield. Piece of heart at the dam.
So both runners could, in theory, do the Dark World at this point. Do they have anything left over in the Light World, aside from dungeons?
As far as the logic goes, you have Zora. Yeah, outside of that, that's what I was thinking too. Where could they have gone? I mean, they shouldn't have the mitts right now without having the lamp. PikaPals might be answering that question for us here.
It looks like it, yeah.
He's going up to Hobo, though. He'll probably fake flip her out and head back to Zora after that.
And with the Moon Pearl, he should be able to check that waterfall cave.
Yes.
Through some combination of entering, exiting, exploiting the game's strange yet mostly effective code. But just a piece of heart under the bridge.
Does fake flip her out. I wonder if it would be faster just to save and quit and flute to that spot. Tough to tell. Probably, I mean, if anything, it's only a second or two. Yeah, PikaPals will definitely be showcasing that glitch you're just talking about, the Jesus Walk. I think it's nice just because you can cut the corner on Zora instead of having to walk all the way down.
So it looks like that is containing the Bonk Rocks location, normally outside a sanctuary, but it's just another piece of heart.
Oh. Jim's gonna go ahead and check this entrance instead. I like it. It's a dark room, and that's gonna be the worst of all the dark rooms too. That's gonna be the one with the pits, I believe, is guaranteed.
I believe that is the dark room that they still have as an option, yeah. Fortunately, that's such a massive sequence break that they don't really need to worry about it right now.
Oh, there's a bottle. Piece of heart from Zora. So
Now, I don't think we've seen the sick kid, have we?
I don't recall seeing the sick kid. As far as entrances, they haven't checked within the logic. They did have that one on top of Hyrule Castle where they could have used the cape to go through.
That's right, we still haven't seen that one.
And they have no way to get on top of Eastern Death Mountain. I don't know if they'd checked the Dark World of Western Death Mountain.
They have not, and there are, I think, 3 caves there they can look in.
I think just 2. Unless I'm miscounting. There's Spike Cave, and then there's the one in the bottom left corner.
So it looks like PikaPals might be heading back up Death Mountain. Oh no, he's going to check the right side of Hyrule Castle because I don't think he's seen where that drops him out.
This will be good too, because this will give us another entrance we haven't seen. I'm sure he'll probably pop in to check what it is.
No,
no.
We know that just takes him to desert, and he's going to elect not to do the southern sweep.
All right, it's Jim that doesn't know how to get to the top of Hyrule Castle. That was at the bottom of Spectgorat Cave.
That's right.
Getting a little confused. Still a little tired this morning.
It is definitely an early morning race for me, but I'm excited to be doing entrance shuffle. So PikaPals is heading up through the Tower of Hera finally. I think he's going to come out of this disappointed.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to be happy about. Ooh, this might be a really good bomb here.
That is a very clever bomb.
Both. I like that. Looks like both our runners are following in each other's footsteps, looking for that, big piece of progression.
Which in this case feels like it might just be a sword.
Yeah.
Or, a hammer or something that actually deals damage to standard enemies. 36 minutes in and no effective way of hurting things. So they do know where Meyer is, but can't do anything useful there without the hookshot or the boots. They also know where the Ice Palace is, and they do have the Fire Rod for that.
That means they could only check 3, or if they do find the big key, 4 chests.
That's right, it would be a long shot, but I think between the two runners, they're kind of down to that, the back half of Thieves Town, and the Dark World.
I was hoping PikaPals could show me whether or not you could hit this switch here, but I've had this situation where you fall down there trying to get across that, and if you don't have that small key, you're basically soft locked out.
Yeah, it's one of the most unfortunate save and quits you can get forced into. Looks like Gem is going to find his Swamp Palace here.
He's drained it, but unfortunately he hasn't learned how to swim. Oh, and this was Meyer, right?
Oh, yes, Meyer, I'm sorry.
Swamp was at Death Mountain Ascent.
That's correct.
Ooh. PikaPal's opting for ice.
All right, let's see what he can find here.
Oh, this is really obnoxious. The penguin room is... He's not going to have enough magic to do it with the fire rod, so he's going to have to do that first penguin room with bombs.
Oh, well, good luck to him. Gem's heading to the Dark World. We can see that the green pendant is at Pod.
Red pendant was Swamp Palace, and then Ice Palace was Crystal 6. PikaPals does make sure he does kill all those penguins with the bombs he has. He gets a small key from it. That makes continuing a little bit easier, but he does take a penguin death as they do hit like a truck. And this looks like we have desert left in Thieves Town.
Let's see what's on that torch. It is just $20.
He'll be able to clear out all these chests. However, finding an item early, there's only 2 items in this dungeon. Almost, you have to go run around the dungeon just to get your big key map and compass, usually when you find an item early in here.
Yeah, for a dungeon with so few chests, it can send you running a long ways. Looks like PikaPals is going to take another run at this, and he's made it past that that second penguin room.
There's this big key. I still wonder if he's gonna walk all the way over to this big chest just to get his map. It's the worst.
Looks like he's going to check where the right exit spits him out. Oh, okay. Well, that's a new place for him, certainly. And he can't get back inside.
It's definitely good to be up here. There's still a lot of stuff to check. Ooh, he does find his Paradox Cave. Probably want to check in here before he commits to that. Oh, alright. Well, it's easy to go back.
Yeah, I think he can get back into desert now. So this is a pretty good find for him. 7 more chests, access between the upper and lower parts of Death Mountain, I think.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I was just about to say, he's a brave man for going through that cave.
But PikaPals has found a sword in Ice Palace.
A sword? That's huge.
A sword. Just one. It's plastic. It's not very good, but he has one.
PikaPals knew he could go to the dark... Actually, he doesn't have the Titan's mitts, because he never checked...
He didn't check that Great Fairy drop.
Wow.
Which is a bit surprising to me. That he went so long with essentially a starting entrance not checked. But yeah, he has a sword, so at least we know where one is in this game.
That's kind of good and kind of bad for him. That sword really tells you that Moldorm probably also has progression also.
I'm inclined to agree, yeah.
I thought he was holding out so long because he knew that there had to be progression still because he sequence broke to get the mitts, but he actually never had them.
It's this weird thing where he sequence broke to get the gloves, but because he hasn't picked up the other progressive glove, it's not really a sequence break at this point. It's a very strange occurrence. I'm still a bit confused as to why he hasn't checked that one drop down, but
there's like a 1. I also have no idea how Jim just got on top of the mountain there.
Caves. The Death Mountain cave system.
That must have been the old man, because he got there really quick.
Yes, I think so. So PikaPals is opting to clear out a bit of Turtle Rock.
Oh, Jim finds the mirror. That's a huge find. They also found it at a really good time, too.
That is a huge sequence break, since he's on Dark World Death Mountain, but that's a very good time to come across it.
Here's Hookshot Cave. Can't do much with it yet, but nice to know it's there. Might lead him somewhere nice, too.
Yeah, at this point, even if you can't open the whole thing, seeing something like Hookshot Cave is good just for the information about where it takes you.
Only a few spots left. I would argue this is going to be somewhere on Dark Death Mountain still. Yeah. Well, he found that mirror at a great time.
Yeah. And PikaPals is going to go in and finish Tower of Hera after death warping out of Turtle Rock. He backtracked through most of Turtle Rock about as far as he could without the cane and didn't come up with anything.
I was hoping Jim didn't check that. He should know exactly where that takes him, which would be back to Ice Palace.
Is Jem the one who checked Ice Palace?
Yes, he's the only one who
Yes.
has the mitts, so...
That's right. Of course.
This will be new information for us, though, as Jem will be on top of Hyrule Castle with magic, so he can go inside the barricade using the cape.
Yeah, something... Oh, and he's still not going to do it.
Well, he hasn't seen this exit yet either. It's going to be a
right.
dark room. Which is no doubt... I saw PikaPals, he moved forward on it just to see if it was a drop-down to rescue the old man. So I'm pretty sure that's probably just the back of the old man spawn point.
Alright, Jem has found the back half of Desert Palace.
Which he can't complete.
He can. They had this available to them kind of right from the start. But there's only one item here behind Moldorm, possibly. So it's not going to be a huge delay.
Ooh, I didn't see the... Oh, that's Small Key, right?
Yes. I'm sorry, not Moldorm. Land Molas. I got switched around because PikaPals was killing Moldorm.
And he'll get his Small Key, and then he'll get to go check his tower room.
Yeah.
Fun to know, Jim's going to have to be very careful clearing out this dungeon because he only has 2 ways to hurt Land Molas right now. He has his Fire Rod, which takes magic, or he has bombs.
Bombs are very difficult to use against Landmos. And the Fire Rod, you can get, what, 8 shots off if you have a full bar?
Yes.
And it would take 6 to take out Landmos.
It could take less than 6, but you'd have to get really lucky.
And how would you do it in less than 6? Lining up shots so they hit more than 1, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But he did get his blue potion from the desert ledge.
Oh, he's gonna try some bombs for this.
He gets a connection. This be a little too soon. Pika is lighting his torches. He gets the lamp. Okay, that's your sequence break. So Jim's not missing too much. The lamp leads you to the mitts, and that was pretty much it. So you had to get that sword in Ice Palace. We got 2 hits on that bomb.
Get that sword in Ice Palace, for which you need that Fire Rod that was in Eastern Palace. But
Jim did a great job with the bombs there.
Yeah, pretty clean fight, all things considered. That will be our first crystal of the match at 48 minutes.
Without a weapon source, nonetheless.
Yeah.
At least without an infinite weapon source, I guess. Wow.
Just walks right into that barrier as he comes out.
I can only imagine Jim's thinking, what the heck is going on with this seed? A good memory there to memorize that shot, considering he just used all of his bombs to blow up some worms.
Yeah, I think he's going to need some more pretty soon here.
Well, I think PikaPals is going to be in some trouble if he doesn't find those mitts. The logic really pushed you that way.
Yeah, having the mitts is... Well, now that we know it's not really a sequence break, that could end up mattering a bit. Gem's still without a sword, but for all we know, there might be another sword hiding around in the early Dark World.
Ooh, there's the flippers.
Now, I can't remember what's on Zora's ledge, but that probably indicates that it wasn't something important.
I will agree with you on all accounts there. I can't remember what it is either, and I'm going to assume it's not important also.
The mindset pretty much every runner has when playing rando is if it's not a progression item, shortly after it's off the screen, you forget what it was, though chat seems to remember it's a heart container.
This is interesting here. He knows there's no items, so he'd be taking this exit to get on top of... Oh, he's going back to 7 Chest Cave because he never was able to finish it because he got booted out the mire.
That's right, the two halves of Desert Palace are actually in different worlds.
This is unfortunate for PikaPals right now. Good old full shuffle scrambles your brain and you forget that one location and...
So there's a sword for Gem in Paradox Cave. So each of these guys is running a sword, but from different locations.
I'm sure he's happy to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
My gosh.
Burying the bottle.
So with 2 swords in Paradox Cave, that's going to open things up for Gem. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable doing some dungeons.
Wow, PikaPals is doing Aga 1. This... He has so many... this is going to open up so many avenues for him to still check. But in reality, he really needs to get to a point where he's brick-locked so he can find his mitts. I feel like if it opens up too much for him, he might never find them. And
I'm starting to wonder if he hasn't missed that drop. Given that it's available so early, I'm wondering if he's counted it when he didn't actually do it. Gem did find the laser bridge for Turtle Rock. Hiding at the Light World Death Mountain exit, one of the most notorious places in full entrance shuffle. But he didn't come up with enough to go through it.
I don't think he had a fairy. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to die there, though. Even though PikaPals is missing the mitts, though, I wouldn't by any means count him out of this race. The mitts, as far as we know, they might not be required to complete the seed.
I think they are, because we've seen Desert Palace on Dark World Death Mountain. And they had to go in there, Gem had to go in there to get the big key so he could at least finish the Desert Palace. Gem does find the boots in the back half of Skull Woods, where Bumper Cave should be.
If PikaPals finds the hookshot somewhere in the Dark World, after he gets ported over from killing Aga, he can get up there without the... But he will need the hookshot.
He'll have to get to the Dark World of Death Mountain, though.
Right, but he can access that through Thieves' Town.
That's correct.
And then there's also a floating entrance to Paradox Cave, which we haven't seen yet. Which
this is true.
If there it's are at a number pod, then he can get there also.
There are definitely some other ways he could get up there. You're right. They'll be tricky to find, but you're right. We shouldn't be ruling him out yet.
It actually makes me kind of excited to see if there's a workaround to it, and this is why Full Shuffle is just awesome, and why everyone should play it.
I agree. All right, so Gem did find the back half of Skull Woods. He couldn't complete it without a small key, but now that he's found the front half of Skull Woods, which of course is exactly where it should be, he can finish the back half.
Oh, nice too. He gets the non-lock you out Skull Woods. I don't know a better way to refer it, but if the big chest room is on the spot where you have to use the fire rod to get in to the other side, that's a one-way gate. Really annoying. I hope that makes sense. I was trying to find words to explain it better, and
I think I mostly understood what you were going for. He's got the fire rod though, so he can't actually get locked, can he?
Yeah, because to get over there, you would have to take a drop down to get you to the spot where the big chest is, and then that's just a one-way exit. And if that's the spot where you have to use the fire rod, then once you drop down, you can't go back.
Ah, I see. I see. So Jem's going to check the back half of Skull Woods.
Dang.
And find the race game hut.
Where will this take them? Okay, floating island.
All right.
And he has seen the item there, so I don't remember what it was, meaning it probably wasn't anything good. PikaPals has found his way to the Dark World the unconventional way, so he's got a few things he can check, but not as much as he would like.
So you were mentioning strange ways to get up to Dark Death Mountain, and I think we just saw one there, where you can go in the back part of Skull Woods and come out on what would normally be the back of Hookshot Cave.
Yep.
And then drop down to the rest of Dark Death Mountain. So
There's another way up there, yeah.
We may not need mitts.
Well, unfortunately, that's one that's still, like, mitt-locked, because he can't get over to that area.
At the moment, no. He can't get over to that area.
Yeah,
Hookshot or hammer. Or, no, only the hookshot.
yeah, I don't even think the hammer. Well, the hammer would get him, yeah, Dark World access over there, yeah.
Yeah.
So he would need to have to find the hammer up here in Pod or Catfish or the hut next to Catfish, and then else if he couldn't do it then, he still has a chance to, I guess, fake Flipper.
Yeah.
To get to Dark World Shopping Mall. Outside of that, he might be running low on options.
That's right. Alright, so it looks like PikaPals is heading to the Pod location, Palace of Darkness. There's a few things that could be there, including the Palace of Darkness.
I do think PikaPals must know he's missed something, though, because his only glove was locked. I guess you could get the lamp before you got the glove. That seems crazy, but I think theoretically it was possible. Yeah, I guess it was.
When he finished Hera, he unsequence broke himself.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. You sequence break, then you fix it, and you think, oh, okay, I guess I didn't break anything.
Yeah, and the fire rod was in Thieves Town, so... Ooh. Well, he got to Dark Death Mountain, but he got to the worst possible spot in Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, can't do much from there. He doesn't even have the mirror.
Jim working Mothula here with Master Sword.
Not a bad fight, all things considered.
Pretty impressive. The hammer has been elusive for a whole entire hour considering how much it locks.
So I think, although I'm not going to call this race by any stretch, I think it's safe to say Gem's in the lead, having 2 crystals, a better sword, and both lift upgrades.
And the mirror. The mirror is huge.
The mirror is huge. It does let him do some checks like this to the bonk rocks much more quickly.
Jim also has the boots too. I don't recall where he got those.
The boots were in the front chest at the back half of Skullwoods.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, so between that and 20 rupees in the room where holes appear, Jem's gotten both chests out of Skullwoods. We did see the bomb shop under the bonk rocks.
Alright, give us a hammer here, Catfish.
Not a hammer, just 20 rupees. And just a heart container from Sick Kid.
Oh, okay, there's the... All 4 swords are known now.
Yeah, Gem having 3 of them, pulling further ahead.
Pika having the one that Jim doesn't have.
Yes.
Something else kind of lost on my radar for some reason. PikaPals was going to finish up Thieves Town.
Yeah, I mean, both runners have had this available to them for quite a while. They might just have been reluctant because, you know, you can't finish it completely without the hammer, but...
Ooh. Something to note, I don't believe either of the runners checked the torch item on Ganon's Tower, which is an item that's locked by the boots.
They did not, no.
That can be a tricky one to remember if... That's not what you think. Like, I need the boots to go to Ganon's Tower to get my progression, especially if you don't know it's there.
Yeah, and you don't want to go all the way back to Ganon's Tower for one potential item. Granted, Ganon's Tower is pretty close here.
That's not too
It's
far
just
away.
at the main entrance of Hyrule.
He just moved to the light world. It's more green. Eh, 11 hearts, enough.
Opting not to pick up that heart container, yeah.
Why inflate the bonk count?
Exactly. So PikaPals is definitely going to clear out the rest of Thieves Town. Nothing
Yep.
too interesting yet for him.
I'm surprised he didn't do that before he did Aga 1. But I guess he was in the area, so why not? Aga 1's kind of a pain to get to. Actually, it's not at all. You just save and quit Old Man and hop down.
Yeah, I think he was operating under the assumption that Aga 1 was his only path into the Dark World.
He also might have wanted the hammer before he came back here too. That makes a lot of sense also.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. It's similar to the reason I think that Gem hasn't done the rest, or hasn't gone into Ice Palace at all. Because without the hook shot, you could find yourself missing the end, and you just don't want to double dip dungeons if you don't have to.
Right. I haven't been counting items in Thieves Town.
Me neither. So it's possible that there's still an item hiding in that big chest, and PikaPals just won't get that now. One of my favorite things about Blind is that because he takes he takes the same damage from every single sword and every single weapon, he's a great boss for randomizer. Because he can kind of be fought anytime you have an item that actually deals damage to him.
Little 3 heart, the Canis Samaria blind.
Yeah, we can see that happen in races. We've seen that in this tournament, and it's always fantastic to watch.
It most certainly is. At least being on the other side of the, controller for that one. I'd rather watch it opposed to executing that.
Yeah, me too. So Gem's going to convert his mirror into an ice rod here. Or convert on his mirror, I should say.
I imagine he's also going to go back and check that entrance too. I imagine this is either a one-way cave or it's probably another dungeon outright.
It is, in fact, another dungeon, Palace of Darkness.
Ooh, Pendant Pod. Means there has to be progression in here.
It's definitely looking like that.
But if he doesn't get a small key here, he's pretty much done. But he does, so he can press forward. PikaPals is very close to his mitts right now. Oh, he's floating. Yeah, I think it is unfortunate he might have forgotten that drop down.
Yeah, that's really too bad to see.
Sesrala is in Eastern Dark World.
Oh, and PikaPals is pushing the altar, which means we can see the artifacts of using an older version of the logic to generate this seed. In newer versions of the logic, of course, that altar's already moved.
So neither of them were able to check this because it's hammer locked. Wow, this is actually a really smart move by him. I didn't even consider this avenue for some time.
Which avenue?
Going the back route of Sanctuary to grab these 4 chests.
Oh, yes.
That should have been like one of the oh, we should just do this instead of all the other stuff. I would have.
Well, and Gem's had access to it for a while with the mirror.
Yes, but I mean they both have had access to it for a while just because Hyrule was available.
Yeah, and Pika did come up with the blue mail in there, so it wasn't a complete waste.
Nice hammer jump by Gem. Yeah, I think PikaPals is really running out of things to do.
Well, of course, Gem never actually went back to Hera, so he doesn't have his lamp yet.
Yes.
And actually, since that lamp is locked behind a pendant boss, it's really unlikely we're going to see Gem go get that mirror, or I'm sorry, that lantern, unless he really needs it. That is, unless he really needs to check that location.
Sorry for the silence. I'm brainstorming here to see if there's any other avenue PikaPals could take outside of checking the location he's unfortunately forgotten, and I can't come across anything at the moment.
Yeah, sadly, that is just the best move he can make.
Oh. really unfortunate. He's played so well the whole tournament to have a blunder like this. Wonder if he's going to try and fake flipper over to the Dark World shopping mall, which unfortunately we've already seen doesn't have much. Oh, Jim needed the big key. Oh, well. Bod didn't have anything for him.
No, there's still 3 items in there. 2 on the right side and 1 at the boss. But... and some of those might be keys. Yeah, one of those would still be a key, but... nothing he can do there without the bow and maybe even the hammer needed.
There's a lot of huge progression items missing from both our players, even though they've really checked quite a lot.
That's right, and you know, Gem still has a lot of locations to check in the overworld, but he's also got a lot of dungeons he can dip just a bit into.
Yes.
You know, he can go into the start of Swamp Palace and get 1 chest, and then if he doesn't get the hammer from there, he'll be stuck. He can go into Ice Palace and get that sword and maybe a couple of other things, but without the hook shot, he might get stuck.
PikaPals got his fake flipper off. You will have to be very careful on the transition after the overworld. Those birds, they really want blood once you get out of this whirlpool, and if you take any damage while you're in the water here, it's an insta-death, regardless of how many hearts you have. Looks like he's going to make it up. Oh, so close.
Alright, so Gem's now checking the back part of Hyrule Castle, or Escape.
Look at his banana hat.
Yeah, using the mirror to get through to there.
At this point, PikaPals knows he's definitely overlooked something, just because this trick he's doing by no means would be required within this logic.
Yeah, there's always a chance that a sequence break either gets you back on track or just skips the one thing you're missing. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to work for him yet.
Wasn't a bad option, though. I mean, better to do something than nothing.
That's right. And, you know, even if doing a sequence break or a trick like that doesn't immediately give you something that fixes your sequence break, it might give you a progression item. It might get you into another dungeon, and that might reveal to you, oh, hey, I've missed that fairy cave.
Right. A progression item there actually would have been really helpful, because you would have been like, oh, well, the flippers, I needed those before I got this. So at least gives you an idea of where it was that you missed it, you know, assuming it's just something you haven't completely and utterly forgotten. Alright, found Agnes Cave. Alright, well, we got some silver arrows. Hopefully he's got a good throwing arm, because he's not going to be using anything to shoot him with.
No, definitely not.
Silver javelins.
I think all Gem needs is the bow and the hammer, and he does know where every dungeon is. Oh, and the hook shot.
And cane.
He may need the hook shot. No, he'll definitely need the hook shot for Ganon's Tower.
And the red cane.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So there's still a lot to go for him. I guess the consolation is he does already know where every dungeon is. Or should.
Yes, that's correct. I had to double check, make sure we'd seen them all. We have. Hopefully this isn't a double dip in the Meyer seed. Those are always ugly.
I was just starting to think, you know, they can get, or Gem can get into Meyer. And that might give him something like the bow, which he needs to take back to Pod.
Yeah. Whoa! Where is PikaPals right now?
He is in the Spike Cave. Finding Hype Cave. Finding the hook shot. And Quake.
They never checked. Wow.
That has been available to them for so long.
Has now.
I can't believe either player never checked that.
I can't believe we forgot about it either.
That's been there for them since pretty much the start.
That's actually a very big turnaround because Jim hasn't checked that either. Granted, I think Jim will. I'm not sure if he has forgotten about it or not. He's been very preoccupied with other things. But that is enough to get PikaPals around the Titansmiths.
That's right.
That's awesome.
It's a very roundabout way now. And we don't know where the hammer is that could shorten his path in the future. But he can now get to Western Dark World, which means he can get to all of Dark World. He can potentially beat this game now. But he is still a long ways behind.
Jim had to be a little crafty there to get his bonk without hitting his portal. Finds Moldorm Cave. Sure, he'll be very happy to see this when you're missing 4 big items and you find a 5-item chest with not much left to go for. Usually have good feelings going into these. Well, 20 bucks, 20 bucks, 20 bucks! A heart piece, and arrow upgrade. Trash.
Sadly, not as good as the 5-chest cave PikaPals just found.
Sorry. He took his money and gave him a bomb.
Fair trade, I think.
Mini trash storm cave. PikaPal still has a really long climb to get back into this race. He has to... Oh, man. Oh, there's the cane from the potion shop.
Yeah,
which was
potion
that,
shop.
Okay, that cave.
Alright, so I think now Gem can clear Misery Mire.
And Turtle Rock.
That's right, he did get the Ice Rod already. So he can clear both of those. He knows where they both are. They are both crystal dungeons. I would not be surprised if he's converting that pretty quickly. Spike Cave, of course, still can't do because we have no hammer.
Have we seen the big chest room for Turtle Rock?
We have not seen that entrance, no.
Where is it?
It could be in many places. Looks like Gem's finding another bottle. I think that makes 3 for him.
Was it on top of
setting
Death
up
Mountain
a death warp. Oh no, Pika. Oh no, sorry. He did get his boots before he set up the death warp.
Oh, okay, nice.
He had me worried for a minute there.
Do you happen to remember what was on top of Light World Death Mountain Ascent?
I do not, though I think it was uninteresting. Jem certainly had the option to mirror at that point, and he didn't take it.
I think that has to be Turtle Rock, Big Chest. There's actually only so many places it could be right now. Or it's on, never mind, I take that back. It's probably in the Desert Palace area, because there's a few exits over there they haven't been able to check. Jim didn't have the mirror when he first got booted out to that area.
That's true. Alright, PikaPals has found the flippers.
Yep, Jim is going to just go ahead and hop over to Turtle Rock. I don't blame him. Taking the path the seed gives him at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff he can clear right now.
He probably won't find too many items here, though. He's already checked almost half the chest, but, I mean, it only takes one chest to turn this runner around. And
That's right, and, you know, he'll be able to complete this dungeon, which does put him one step closer to finishing.
yes. No point in not doing it, for certain. What could the pedestal have? Ugh, I don't think the pedestal can have anything. Yeah, I don't see any option where the pedestal is going to be required this seed.
Bow can't be behind pedestal, hammer can't be behind pedestal, thanks to
Hookshot can't either.
Yeah, now that we've seen Hookshot and Cane, I think those were... The Cane was the last holdout.
Ooh, half magic. Just in time.
Yeah, that's about the right place to run across half magic and get excited for it. So PikaPals did find his way up Dark World Death Mountain. And it looks like Jem missed some torches in that room, so he's going to have to make another pass at them.
Uncharacteristic mistake by Jem. Boy, I cannot talk. I should have got more sleep last night.
Good morning, Ak. Or afternoon, as it is now.
Should have got a jumbo-sized coffee. There's this big key. Just mirror back.
Alright, so PikaPals is going to get up to a Tempered Sword at this point.
Oh yeah, and he's just a mirror away from his Butter Sword. Is this where the mirror was at too? Not its close.
I'm going to wait until all the chests are open before I give you an answer to that.
Thank you. You got my back. I suppose I could have waited till he opened them before I asked the question.
That's true, but I look better this way.
Oh, this is not where the mirror was at, Ak.
This is not where the mirror was.
Please pay attention. You're right, I'm sorry.
The mirror, it looks like, was in a side cave in the mire area.
Thank you for paying attention, Chad. Someone had to do it.
So Jem making his way through another dark room, since he seems determined not to get that lamp, and I don't blame him at this point.
Yeah, it would take him getting really, really stuck, I think, to go back that route to get his lamp.
In fact, from his position, even if I knew where the lamp was, I wouldn't go back to get it, because the time it takes to go and pick that up, compared to the little bit of time the dark rooms take you, is just not worth it.
Yeah, at this point, definitely. And we know it's not going to be required for him to go back there. Yes, Jim already found Laser Bridge, so he's already checked all those chests. That's why he went ahead and skipped through them. But he didn't have the cane at the time to get his big key to finish the dungeon.
He found it at the start of the Death Mountain. Or the regular entrance to Death Mountain. A long time ago, quite early in this run.
PikaPals is going to be taking the express train back up to the
there's
Death
the hammer.
Wow. From Trinex, alright.
Whew.
Only an entrance shuffle. Will you see a hammer dropping from Trinex? Just when you thought you knew the game. Okay. Yeah, now he's just gonna go ahead and finish up Thieves Town. And we'll get to see what was in that mystery chest.
That's right. It's fairly lucky for him that PikaPals didn't find anything in Thieves Town. So in this case, waiting to check that has turned out well for him.
If I were to make an early prediction, what's really going to be the nail in the coffin for PikaPals here is if after Jim finishes Thieves Town, he decides to go to the Dark Death Mountain in the on the western side, grabbing his hookshot, and then he'll probably just go and just blitz full clear everything in GT, which I imagine will probably have the bow, which will be the last thing he's missing.
Yeah, if he goes and gets that hookshot, I agree that would be the nail.
If he doesn't get that hookshot and he gets a little too excited and goes to Ganon's Tower a little preemptively, that could be a huge time limit.
Yeah, we might see him doing right side and then finding the big key and climbing. And
I wouldn't be surprised if he still did left side too.
That's right. I've been told that one can bomb jump across the left side of Ganon's Tower.
With the boots, you can actually just dash in the first set of jumps. The only bomb jump you have to make is the one where you have to hook shot to grab the chest with the next to the flame bars.
Ah, yes.
I know Jim's more than comfortable doing that bomb jump. PikaPals grabbing his mirror.
That mirror, which was in the Mire Shed, but in fact on Dark Death Mountain.
I was wondering about that. I was like, I didn't think it was in the Mire area. He would have used it to check some of those entrances. Surprisingly enough, though, they're not necessarily in play. At least not for required dungeons. We've seen them all. Oh, PikaPals also has a hookshot going into Hookshot Cave. This is unexplored territory. And then 50 rupees in the chest we hadn't seen as well from...
Well, that's fortunate for PikaPals.
Yeah. He's just doing it as intended. You know, who needs the mitts?
Bee in a bottle, a lot of rupees in Hookshot Cave. And some hearts.
No, I think there's actually only one situation right now where the mitts are required to beat this seed, and that's if the bow is in the hammer pegs. That's all I can think about right now.
Interesting. That's a bit of a scary thought.
Yeah, really obnoxious, considering Jim's already kind of cleared out that area.
I mean, Gem has a definite lead here. But he's still neglecting to go pick up that hook shot. And so what I think is kind of keeping PikaPals in this race is the fact that mitts might not be required.
Oh, I think PikaPals is going to be in for... Okay, he's going to the Dark World. I thought he was going to Ganon's Tower too. I was like, you're still missing an item for that. Alright, it was just a key on that torch. Maybe they had checked that and we didn't see him.
They did not check that. That was pretty risky. But it worked for them.
Okay, PikaPals is going to finish up Desert here.
Gem saying, I don't need that hook shot. I can open chests with bombs.
I don't blame Jim for this at all either. I mean, you finally get your, you know, your boots, your hammer, you've got a cane. You're just thinking, I can go open like 6,000 chests, because I think that's the exact count on it. You know,
6,002 actually.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
You know, I round. Yeah, it was 6,000 chests or go check 2 caves, which, you know, unfortunately 2 caves was the right decision, but it's tough to get those chests out of your mind. Oh, that skeleton.
This is a hard room to get across in this particular case, but...
So, if you're looking for a little bit of divergence in the seeds, Jim killed Landmola's without a sword, and PikaPals did it with a tempered sword.
Strange but true. Welcome to Entrance Shuffle.
I can still only imagine the post-race banter between these two. Wait, you had a lamp? Wait, you had the mitts?
Yeah, I think both will be in for some surprises once this is done.
Solid there. You set that up really fast.
Yeah, one of the marks that really distinguishes a good runner from a great runner like Gem is just the speed with which they set up these bomb jumps. It's not a case of figuring it out each time as much of just knowing, okay, here's exactly what I need to do to set this up.
It's just if you fail at it, you fall and you have to walk all the way back every single time you do it. And then it gets to a point where, you know, you're getting a little stressed out and you probably fail a little bit more.
Then you run low on bombs. And...
Butter sword.
Well, there's the butter sword from PikaPals. And Gem did find the red mail in Rando room.
Hopefully the big key is not in the Tyler room or the 4 chests that follow. Then you kind of have to walk all the way back to the... He threw a Mario block. I like that. I'm sure he's going to want to open the big chest. He's still... He is desperately praying he finds the bow and the hook shot here, because I know he's going to want to go through this in one clean sweep. Finding the bow would probably be the worst thing for him, because he would have to make the decision whether he wants to climb and risk those all the time for those 4 chests looking for the hook shot, which we know is not going to be there.
That's right.
So he still has 4 more chests to check.
PikaPals is going to make his way through to Mothula. This will be a butter sword fight compared to Gem's Master Sword, so another divergence, and I think we'll see PikaPals beat this in just a few seconds.
I don't want to be particular here, but it's technically only a tempered sword fight, as the butter sword only does tempered damage when you fight Mothula in this room, because the butter sword actually does no damage to him in the regular game, so they had to hard code it where you do tempered sword damage.
And that's an adjustment they made for this randomizer, right?
Yes. And I only wanted to sound smart there, just because I think I briefly figured that out. But I wanted to play it off as if I had known the whole time.
Well, it's one of those factoids that I really like, because it shines light on, you know, when the devs were making this game originally, they did not expect this would be happening. They assumed, yeah, there's no way you'll ever have the golden sword when you fight Mothula.
Holy. It even shines more light on the fact that they take a lot of pride in this, and they do updates and fixes on this like faster than, you know, AAA companies, you know, fix their games. It's really been an enjoyable experience for the few months I've been running these. They do so much hard work.
I agree. This is a community I'm very happy to be a part of.
Fun fact about that Mothula too, if you happen to play Zarby's Enemizer variant of the game, if you run across Mothula outside of that room and you have Golden Sword, you won't be able to do any damage to him unless you you can do pokes or hammer or fire out, of course.
That is a fun fact. So Gem did eventually find the big key here in the last possible chest.
That's how it always works, right?
Yep, last place you look. And PikaPals is heading into pod.
It's not going to be able to give very much here. Only difference between his exploration and Jim's exploration is, you know, he'll at least be able to see the dark maze, but that's not going to factor in too much. Jim made pretty short work of it.
You know, these runners have played the game so many times. They don't need to see the dark maze. They've seen it enough.
Oh, there's an ether.
That is an item for Gem. It will not really help his progression.
No medallions are going to be required this run. We've already seen the dump out to Turtle Rock and Meyer. So he's got 1 single entrance and 3 multiple entrances to see here. I imagine, if I were to guess, all 3 of these, you're going to have Turtle Rock, Big Chest, and I believe you're probably going to have the entrance and exit to Spiral Cave. That's my bold prediction.
So I can't recall what it was, but I think Gem checked this already, because at least for one of them, something spit them out the front door of Meyer.
I don't remember him having the mirror when he went there, but maybe I'm mistaken.
He didn't, and that's why he did still have to check the checkerboard location.
Never mind. I take that back. They checked those. Just ignore me, honestly. I don't know why anyone's still listening to me.
Because if I don't, then I'll be talking at chat myself.
It's probably better that way.
Alright, so Gem's gonna go into Meyer. 2 items in here. He can get both of them.
I'm still thinking that Turtle Rock Big Chest, though, is at the vanilla entrance to Desert Palace.
That is very likely. And that is the kind of thing Gem could have checked right now. I mean, if that chest isn't there, it'd be.
That's what I was looking at.
It could be at Ganon's tower, but that would
No,
require it to not be important.
It can't be, because it's in the light world.
Oh, that's right. All of Turtle Rock stays in the same world.
Like, I almost say it has to be there. I wasn't counting items in Turtle Rock, though, so he might actually know that that's where it's at. And he might also know that there's no item there, so... Because at this point, I'm pretty sure Jim has checked literally every single entrance and exit in the light world, except for that one, so... PikaPals still just go ahead and knocking out a lot of the overworld. That's so time consuming to check it all. He found his trash storm cave.
There will be some red, some red, some red, some red, and some arrows for him.
Yeah. He'll get $60, a heart piece, and able to carry 5 more arrows that he can't shoot.
$60. I wanted a bow.
He gave him a little slash there. Jim gave him a bomb. Yeah, that's a good point. Neither of our runners will be going back to pod. Oh man, that puts Swamp Palace on the table too. That's super obnoxious. That's even more obnoxious for Jim if he happens to check it without finding the hook shot.
I think there's a small edge case where Gem finds the bow in here and goes hunting in pod for the hook shot. There's the key to PikaPals. But I hope that doesn't happen for him. For Gem, that is.
Yeah, where the hook shot currently rests is a very low value location for Jim. There's nothing even around that area. Eastern would be his best bet. If he finds the bow, goes to Eastern, and then he'd be in the area to maybe be like, oh, I should check these while I'm here. But outside of Eastern, he's going to have very little excuse to want to go over there.
That seems to be 2 items for Gem in Misery Mire. Piece of heart and 20 rupees.
Place is still a dump. Well, go ahead and finish it out. It's always fun to kill Vitreous without a bow. He does have a tempered sword, though.
Yeah, this will be by no means be a hard fight for him.
Half magic cape. Does have to do it in the dark, but that's pretty much a given, I think, for the rest of his run. Unless that hookshot really escapes him, then maybe he'll go check Hera looking for it and find his lamp.
So the bow could definitely still be in Swamp Palace.
Yes.
There's no question. I think Gem has been reluctant to go there because he doesn't have the hookshot. So that really limits what he can check there.
It could be in Swamp Palace, it could be in Ice Palace.
We did also see the Spike Cave, and neither one of them cleared it.
That's right. It's there's also a Mimic Cave too. Mimic Cave, I believe, was in the North Forest. I don't remember where Spike Cave was. It's been a long time, but we have our runners in the same dungeon. Who would have thought after what we saw?
If you had told me an hour ago that this would happen, I would have told you no. You were crazy.
This is actually insane. I can't believe this, to be honest. I mean, PikaPals is literally one dungeon away from having the hammer, and then as far as items go, he'll actually have more because he has the hook shot.
Yeah, that's completely true.
That's insane. Yeah, half magic cape works really well, slice and dicing some eyeballs.
Yeah, definitely. I've said this before on commentary. My favorite way to fight Vitreous is with the cape. Just go in there and wreck him.
Do you like spins or do you like dashes?
I prefer the dashes. But really,
that.
anything that makes up for the times I fought him with Fighter's Sword is good in my books.
Yes, that's the worst.
So that'll bring Gem up to 5 crystals. One still needing the bow, and the other in Ice Palace potentially needing the hook shot. Or I guess not needing the hook shot, but potentially other items being behind the hook shot. And Gem is going to do Spike Cave.
Oh, that's where it was. Nice. Oh,
and there
wow.
it is! So I expect that will send him back to Eastern. Because he knows he can beat that right now.
Yeah. Becky, I think they were still dragging one item in Eastern.
Behind the Armos? I think so.
And he will also have to do Eastern in the dark. I think that'll be the hat trick of dark rooms there. I don't think there's any left after that.
No. We did see, interestingly, a Aghanim 1 that was not required for Gem, who didn't have the lamp, but was required for PikaPals, who did have the lamp.
I don't think Jim did Aga 1.
Exactly. It wasn't required for Gem.
Right.
I may have misspoken.
Technically, it wasn't required for PikaPals. Well, actually, never mind. It was. I take that back.
If we're going with PikaPals just didn't have a Titan's mid in his seed,
you're
then
absolutely right.
It was required. And that's a hell of a handicap for him to be fighting.
I was thinking it wasn't required for him to get the hook shot, but he still needed to get Aghanim to get good use out of that hook shot. This will be interesting too. Now I'm wondering if that hook shot will be a bait for PikaPals to go check Swamp, opposed to checking Spike Cave to find his bow.
Oh, that's a very real possibility.
Of course, then again, Jim might go to Swamp Palace just to find the hook shot. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like PikaPals has been catching up in the last half hour or so, but running into Swamp at the wrong time could set him behind again. I mean, what PikaPals really needs to do, of course, is kill Trinex first.
Right. I think he'll definitely do that. I don't even remember if he's gone to the laser bridge yet, so that's a lot of items there also.
Just an arrow upgrade hiding behind Armos, but that makes 6 crystals for Gem.
He can get his 7th one too. He just can't finish the game without the hook shot. Oh. Unless he could hover. Will this be the race where Jim, you know, he's been hiding it all along that he can actually hover? That'd be a fun surprise.
I would really enjoy that surprise. Oh, I think he's gonna go for it here. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yep, this'll, he'll be very happy he did this opposed to all the other stuff he could have done. Man, this is gonna be such a kick in the face too, knowing that it was there the whole entire time.
And an hour and 50 minutes in, Gem has hit go mode. He's not even gonna bother with the rest of that cave.
I know he's thinking to himself too, like, why didn't I check this when I left Thieves Town or earlier? Or I know he had a multiple varieties of times where it was probably in the back of his mind to check it, but then he got, you know, maybe a little bit distracted and did some other things instead.
Yeah, so he knows Ice Palace is just south of the village here. He is going to be able to go straight to Cold Stare, not need to check any chests along the way. He will probably not get the Butter Sword, since that is not on the main path. He'll just do a bomb jump and clear this dungeon in, what, 2.5, 3 minutes?
Yes. Which is fantastic too. He'll most definitely be on pace for another sub 2 hours seed. The level of competition has just gotten so fierce in full shuffle matches. Usually with the variety of routing and divergency, you know, you can maybe, you know, have a minor mistake here and now, but everyone has just gotten so good at this variant that, much like casual and open modes, you know, you make a little mistake, it really hurts you.
That's right. We can really see the growth of all the runners as the tournament's gone on. At the start, we were scheduling 3 hours for a match and sometimes exceeding that. And, you know, each of these races, it feels like it's just, on average, getting shorter and shorter as their routing picks up.
Seeds definitely have a lot to do with it too, but we're not getting tripped up by a lot of the silly things that Full Shuffle can offer. We're evolving.
Yeah, for instance, the place where Pod was hiding, the left side of the race game house, that's a location that tripped up a few people a few rounds ago, and now, of course, every runner left in the tournament has seen what happens when you miss that. They've seen how you have to get there, and now it's just factored in as part of the rest of the routing.
What about the Sanctuary drop location? Anyone missed that one yet prior to this race?
The fairy drop, you mean?
Was it Fairy Drop, or I thought it was Sanctuary?
It is the fairy drop.
That was the mitts?
I think.
I know it was one of the two, for
believe
sure.
So. Because that was intended to be their first lift upgrade.
I've been wrong the whole time. I'm actually just going to assume you're right.
Well, that's very kind, thank you. I won't tell anyone.
No problem.
I certainly won't tell 644 of my closest friends.
Thank you. I would hate for them to know that I'm wrong. That was a
So
nice
PikaPals has made his way through Turtle Rock. Gem gets a very clean kill on Gold Stare.
Those poke strats he did on Cold Stare are really nice there. Might have to learn how to do that one day.
I'd almost say someone should clip that and use it as an example of exactly how you're supposed to do that fight.
And I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say I would say that. I'm saying you should clip that and have that be an example of how you're absolutely supposed to do that fight.
Well, since Axe the better racer than I am, listen to him.
I just get lucky.
Alright, so PikaPals will get his hammer and 5 crystals now. So we'll see. He may take that hammer and go to the Spike Cave right away, or he may go hunting for a while.
I would imagine PikaPals is probably just going to beeline right to Ganon's Tower also. You're looking at your inventory, you have, you know, hammer, cane, hookshot.
Yeah, he's going to go up there.
It makes... Why would you go, you know, check Spike Cave? You could just... Yeah, 1 chest or 6,000 and 2 chests, as my commentator corrected me.
Alright, so let's see Gem tackle this gauntlet. He's doing pretty well with it so far.
It's pretty good. Not bad for a bacon sword.
Putting the fire rod to very good use.
Half magic too, and he's also super frugal. I don't think he ever used blue potions, so he's got that in his back pocket also.
That's right. We thought he might use that blue potion back in the Lanmo fight, and he said, "No, I don't need my fire rod. I'm going to use bombs."
I've got 12 bombs, no big deal. We've all played AA's plan though. We're used to this.
So yeah, if you want to clip that run of the gauntlet Gem just did, that's about the way you can do it best. Just swing that fire rod around. Have half magic.
PikaPals only check Tower Room. Oh wait, they don't have any keys. That makes perfect sense. I was wondering why he didn't go that way. That's really unfortunate. You were kind of baited into going the wrong way.
Yeah, Gem just got fairly lucky when he went down to the left side, looked and said, "Oh, there's a key on this torch." Unfortunately, PikaPals is going to have to go back to right side, since that's where the key's hiding.
Yeah. And then it makes you go all the way back to the big chest, too, because you can't leave that laying there for no reason.
A nasty route to take just to not find the bow.
Yeah, just to get your, God. Red mail? I think that's all we found here.
That's right, red mail was... I think in the rando room.
Gem is 2 mini bosses.
Very clean fight.
Now 1 mini boss away from his Ganon fight, and being the winner's champion too. Too late to throw that out there. PikaPals is not out of this tournament yet. This is a double elimination format, so neither of these runners have lost yet. PikaPals will be in the, I guess, loser's bracket final. I guess that's how that works.
I believe that's what that's called, yeah. And it could be a while before his next match.
There is, he has to wait for 2 matches.
Alright, I just have to point out this Aghanim placement. If he lined up that nicely, even I could probably get a few 3 hits in on Aghanim. That was some stellar placement that happened.
I think they deserve a little luck. When I quoted the original sub 2 hour, I had forgotten that he had to go back through and go through the gauntlet, but he still did it insanely fast.
That was an incredible gauntlet run.
Tippered Sword and Silvers. Be able to make quick work again in here. Even using the cape for good measure. Why not? You got half magic. He's been holding on to that blue potion forever. I'm sure he wants to use it. I doubt he's going to need to, though. on PikaPals side. It's unfortunate he didn't have sword beams for this encounter. Very helpful. I don't know, I think Butter Sword might be even faster. It's a lot of rare situations you find yourself in an entrance shuffle to know what's the best way to handle what's in front of you.
Yeah. So I think Gem may end up needing that potion, because he only has the fire rod, not the lamp. So depending on how many times he has to light these torches, yeah. He'll have to drink that potion. He's got plenty of magic, I'm sure.
You can get a double here. Oh, he gets it.
Gosh!
I don't need your blue potion, says Gem. GG.
Gem has just made a liar out of me, and I was very pleased to see that. So that is almost a sub 2-hour race. That is an official time of 2 hours, 0 minutes, and 50 seconds for Gem. Heck of a race.
Fantastic. I still can't believe this race. This race was awesome. It totally delivered. You had the weird route divergencies. Who needs mitts? Actually incredible.
Who needs mitts, indeed. That was... I was very pleased to see that PikaPals could still complete the seed without mitts.
And he like blew our minds when he did it too. Or I was like, oh, yeah, he's got to get those mitts. Oh well, that's it. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, where's this cave? How did he get here? And how does he have the hook shot? Never saw it coming.
That's right. And I think even better, not only did he not get the mitts, the lift upgrade he did get was a sequence break when he picked it up. Alright, Gem is going to hop on shortly for a bit of an interview. I'm going to ask him why he doesn't like blue potion.
Alright.
I'll just bring him in here. Gem, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
GG.
So what are your thoughts after that seed?
Where's the lamp?
Great question. I wondered if it would be your first. It's the basement of Hera.
Oh, really? Yeah, nice. I kind of figured it would be a nice palace, to be honest, but yeah. Hera also makes sense.
The lamp wasn't an ice palace, but the 4th sword upgrade was.
Ah, I see.
And it was in fact Pika's first sword upgrade.
Oh, did he go in there without a hammer?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, he dipped in there very early. Which is part of the reason he ended up doing Hera early, because he pulled a sword.
Makes sense, yeah.
Which, amongst other things, led him to the basement.
Yeah, right, I couldn't... Yeah, true, the sword in Ice Palace would have been the first one you could find before the lamp, right? Since all the others were in the Dark World, and the mids were lamp locked.
Yeah, so we were quite amused to see that you ended up pulling your sword elsewhere, and then finding 2 other swords in a completely different location.
Yeah,
You had
I just...
Oh, you had 3 swords, and then Pika had the one you didn't have.
Yeah. The swords were kind of funny, because I had just killed Lamos with only bombs and some fire red shots. and I actually had been in Paradox Cave before, and I came back there saying, I'm gonna find swords here, plural, and then it actually turned out to be true.
That's right, you got kicked out of Paradox Cave the first time you tried to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to, give a cordial thank you to AA for, giving you plenty of practice for bombing Landmo?
Yeah. Thanks, AA. That your plan will help a lot.
Yeah, so twice in this run, I thought you were going to use your blue potion. Once on Landmo, and then once on your Ganon fight at the end. And it turns out you didn't need it either time, so that was some impressive racing to see.
Good.
Oh, true, I had it. Actually on Landmos I just forgot I had it. I had a blue potion. I probably would have used it if I hadn't forgotten.
Oh!
But yeah, on Ganon I was kind of happy that my magic just barely was enough.
How did you feel about when you found the hook shot and your status in the race?
Well, I honestly I thought that missing hookshot for so long more helped me than like lost me time. Because I never really needed it, and if I had it earlier I would have wasted time with like hookshot cave, and maybe I would have even gone into swamp, who knows.
Right.
That is true. Pika has checked a lot of those hookshot spots just by virtue of finding it earlier.
The hookshot was actually very much required for PikaPals. PikaPals, he does not have the mitts at all. He has a glove.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
He overlooked that drop-down location, and he had to be very creative to navigate the Dark World to get the progression done. Actually, you don't need the mitts to do the seed, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, he must have done Aga 1 then, right?
Yeah, he had to do Aga 1.
He had to do
that's-
Aga 1, he had to get up Death Mountain, Dark World creatively. It
that's rough.
made for a much larger puzzle, certainly.
Yeah, I can believe that.
We were really surprised too, and he found the hook shot like maybe in the last possible place you could look. At this point, we were like, "Oh, he's in a lot of trouble," because I think he completely forgot about the location. But it was definitely a fun race to watch. It was really nice watching you. I mean, you had no, weight. You had no hammer, no sword for so long, and how many? You dipped into like what? 3, 4 dungeons with no weapon source. It was really entertaining.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I like scenes like this where you just have to be creative in how you approach things.
Yeah, we certainly saw a lot of that from both of you.
Yeah, I've also been never this happy to find a boomerang.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was like the first proper quote-unquote weapon I had.
Anything to keep the enemies out of your face.
Yeah.
So that is ice now for PikaPals.
All he has is Eastern Palace left, but he does have to find the bow, which was really not in the best position.
Yeah. I probably would have ignored that Spike Cave for a bit longer. But we had like a race recently where Spike Cave was my last location. So it was fresh on my mind to go there.
Oh, that's convenient.
Oh no. Oh no, Pika, it looks like he's going to Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 chests there.
Yep.
I do not blame him for checking it.
Yeah.
It is potentially a high payoff, but...
Unfortunately, it won't.
Did you check Mimic Cave? The one that was north of Forest?
No.
Okay.
No, I planned to do it after Spike Cave, but then I found the boat there and went for EP. And then I remembered I never checked Dark Death Mountain, so I went there because I still had Hype Cave open. And yeah, then it turned out to be there and it had the hookshot, so I was in go mode.
It's convenient. Do you think if you would have went to Mimic Cave, you would have dipped into Swamp Palace?
Well, I would have definitely done Ice Palace before that, because Ice Palace is crystal.
Right.
But yeah, I was starting to consider Swamp, definitely.
And then you also had finishing up Pod too. We were curious if you were gonna, buy enough time for Pika to catch up.
Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah.
And man, Pod was pretty frustrating. Well, it was like 4 red rupees, nothing else.
Oh, and then the Moldorm Cave, it was 3 rupees, a piece of heart, and a arrow upgrade.
Yeah, you didn't come out of that very happy.
You didn't check Hookshot Cave, but I mean, you could only guess what's in there.
Oh, was it more rupees?
I mean, you had all the items, so.
Oh, makes sense. Well, it could be the blue cane, but yeah, Pika doesn't have it.
I think there was a heart piece.
Oh, 10 out of 10 then, worth.
Yeah. I mean, red mail, 15 hearts, that could have helped.
Yeah, I think I had mentioned you did Thieves Town kind of early. At that point, I was kind of wondering if you were gonna go ahead and check Dark Death Mountain since you hadn't done it, and at that point you hadn't done Ganon's Tower though, so I wasn't necessarily too surprised to see you just be like, I mean, there's like 1,000 chests over here. Let's go do those.
Yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to do. Considered even doing it before at Turtle Rock, but then I hoped the hammer or something would be there, which
Right.
would be true.
Yeah, and you'd already checked almost. There wasn't very much left of Turtle Rock either because you had found the laser bridge.
Yeah. Although, I don't think I remember how to get back there. It was on Lightwood Bumper Cave. But no idea how to get there anymore.
Did you count the items in Turtle Rock by
Yeah,
chance?
I did. That,
Did you? Were you still?
I think the big chest was at Desert, but I already got all my 5 items, so I didn't
Nice.
check.
See, I told you he knew about that by Lion. You were telling me he didn't. That's not true at all, by the way.
What are you saying I did? Because
That
I may have
Jim-
done it.
That Jim knew where the big chest was and knew that there wasn't an item in there.
Oh yeah. No, I agree.
Well, it was an excellent race, so we definitely appreciate the show.
Well, I'm happy to deliver.
Showing off with the bomb strats and all the good stuff. Ignoring all the swords just so you can keep it interesting. We loved it.
Yeah, it was definitely on purpose.
Pika doesn't have too much left to check. He's got Swamp,
I hope he didn't forget about Spike Cave.
I know he ducked his head in there, even before Jem did, so he should still be able to do it.
yeah.
I think it's rightly so. It's just a bit of a lower priority at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Swamp has a lot of items.
So he'd explored Eastern Overworld for Jim because that was the only Dark World Overworld access he had at the time.
No, it makes sense.
It's always the worst to get the big key late in the swamp.
It sucks.
So for those just tuning in, the winner of this race is in fact Jem. We're going to let PikaPals continue to play this out. He is just looking for the bow, which we know to be in the Eastern Dark World. And once he's got that, he can go and finish the game.
Also, by the way, Jim, congratulations too on being the only person in the tournament without a loss in this current state.
Thanks.
That's right, you didn't just win this match, you've won the winner's bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice feeling. I didn't expect I'd get this far.
Well, after watching you play, I don't think any of us are surprised by it, so...
No, that was some very strong execution we saw from you. Great cold stare, great work on the Ganon's Tower Gauntlet. Very strong execution on your Aghanim 2 fight.
Well, that Aghanim was pretty nice.
Yes, that one was.
Yeah, usually I like 10 cycle him, so I was pretty happy about that.
Wait, is this true? I have to check. Somebody said something in chat, and I'm interested.
What caught your eye?
Someone said he also won the tournament prediction.
As in,
He's not
was
wrong.
at the top of most people's brackets?
Yeah, no, I mean he made a bracket as well. He's currently winning in that.
Oh, well, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
I guess
Betting on yourself seems to
guess
pay
that's
off.
what happened when you pick yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everybody else expected me to like drop out right at the start. That gave me a big advantage there.
And inspiration.
So PikaPals checks Mimic Cave, finds just some rupees. My biggest hope for him right now is that he does not find the book. I'm worried that if he comes across the book, he's going to check both tablets looking for that bow.
Wait, Jim, you had yourself losing in the semifinals. You gotta have some confidence, man. Oh my gosh.
Well, I expected AA to get there, and you know, AA is like the favorite. Was like the favorite for everybody.
He's still not out of it.
Yeah, I know. But
I'll try my best though.
yeah, you gotta kick him out. Let's meet in the grand final, Zach.
Oh lord. I have such a stairway to climb. I have 3 matches left before I have to come and beat you twice? Man.
That's just 5 wins.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out some way to cheat or do something.
Disclaimer, do not promote cheating.
Yeah, don't cheat.
Give me your address, Jim. I'm gonna, like, I don't know, hire someone to knock on your door like every 5 seconds while we're racing.
Well,
I don't know what I can do to beat you twice.
I just ignore that guy.
I'll figure out something, Jim. I'll have him throw bombs at your door over and over again because he refuses to drink his blue potion.
Please don't do that.
Well, it's still incredible to me. Pika's found his way around this seed without the mitts.
Yeah,
the freest of mitts.
We've seen how circuitous it gets for him, but he's definitely done a heck of a job without them.
I think you only used them maybe 3 times in the run, Jim. You used them to do the fetch quest. You did check Ice Palace's slot, and then I think I saw you use them to get to the Dark World Death Mountain once. Even though you did have a way down there, you just did it for convenience, so they really didn't get much value. Oh, you used them for the Dark World the whole time too.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
That's not insignificant, I think.
Yeah, where Jem could just lift that rock and walk into the Dark World at the forest. We've seen PikaPals run through the woods a few times.
I mean, PikaPals couldn't even do that. He had to take the hook shot way around for the longest time.
Oh man. Yeah,
It's
that's
even
rough.
worse. Yeah. It's unfortunate too because, I mean, having a seed like that in full shuffle is really not even that unusual.
Yeah. You don't even start suspecting things. Because it might just be what it expects you to do.
And because he found the sword and Ice Palace, which led you to the lamp, technically, like, that glove wasn't even a sequence break at that point anymore, so...
Yeah.
There wasn't even suspicion that he might have been forgetting something.
So, Ak, you're completely right. And Jem, of course, was also right. That main Desert Palace entrance does lead to the Turtle Rock big chest and just
Nice.
a key. PikaPals probably was pretty sure of that, but I think he's being exhaustive because he doesn't want to miss anything now.
No bow. Oh no. This is the worst. He's going to go check the Thieves Town big chest
Oh no.
for 50 rupees, and I think after that, Spike Cave is all I can think left. Wonder where the book's at.
Maybe in one of the upper chests in GT.
That's what I'm starting to think.
Oh, okay.
Or possibly behind
Pedestal.
one of the other chests in Pod.
Yeah, it's also possible.
I think there were 2 chests left in Pod.
One item and the green pendant.
That as well.
Well, no idea when our next entrance shuffle race is going to be. That's 100% and solely on me right now, me and AA. I will promise you guys, I will schedule it as soon as I possibly can. I would actually like to get it done within the next few days, if I could.
That's right, with kind of a linear sequence of races left in this tournament, we're going to probably see them happen. Hopefully in fairly quick succession.
Yeah.
I know some people are anxious to finish this up as the Open tournament ramps up.
Yeah, those qualifiers start today.
In an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, I got a race to get ready for.
And I believe those will be rebroadcast in some fashion on Speed Gaming.
Every single one of them, right? I want to restream on every single racer.
Totally gonna happen.
How many people do you think are going to be in that race? I'm thinking, man, at least 110?
Probably. I don't know, there's a ton of signups, so you might even see like 150.
Wow. Yeah, I think there's over 300 people signed up for this. PikaPals staring at his map. Hey, as far as I know, you got one spot left to check.
I hope he remembers.
He is going... I have no idea. Sort of. Must be nice though, where you know you live in a world where you can just leave $300 on the ground and not care about it.
Yeah, you'd rather find a stick with a string.
Yeah.
So, I mean, much as we'd like to see 100 people being restreamed at once, my understanding is that it'll be about 4 players who are being restreamed, and the tournament will, or this stream will zoom in on a few of them. Is that correct?
I think so. At least
I
that's
think
what
so,
people
yeah.
think.
So if you're not in that race, stay tuned to Speed Gaming 1 an hour from now. And you can see a number of different racers trying to do the same seed all at once.
It'll be like the, they can make it like the NFL red zone of streaming. Little focus and highlights. Oh, look. Jim found the bow. So how do you feel about your chances winning the tournament outright now, Jim? Considering, you know, whoever faces you next, they do have to beat you twice. You only have to beat them once to be the outright winner.
Yeah, it makes me pretty, or somewhat confident.
Do you think because of that you might play a little risky in game one, just because you know you can?
No, I don't think so. I just try to play how I played so far. It seems to work, so I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that your current strategy is working poorly. It's going very well.
I was just trying to squeeze some information out of him for maybe any future competitors. Yeah, PikaPals is still looking for Spike Cave here.
He is doing a circuit of the Dark World, so he might make his way there eventually. I think he'll have a few locations to check before he gets there, though.
And he did find it a long time ago. Also, that kind of it's not going to be fresh in your mind. Probably found it in the I don't know, maybe hour 15 mark or something.
Yeah, it was definitely a long time ago because it was very early when he first got into the Dark World.
Yeah. It would be really interesting if he found the myths before he found the...
I would not be surprised if he stumbled upon it here. But it looks like he won't.
Almost looked like he was going to do it there for a second. He had his mirror out. Do you take notes while you play, Jim, or?
Yeah. I have like this Excel list of locations that for Rhymit I made. There's like every single location there's items is listed there, and then you can like take them off and like note down where they are.
Gotcha. Nice.
So yeah, so like the good thing about this is that you always know what caves are still left.
Yeah.
So when you see there's like Hype Cave still unchecked, then you definitely will still search for single entrance caves.
Oh no, PikaPals. He has passed it by.
Well,
Are you sure you want to have priority for the 5 chest caves, 7 chest caves anymore? They really haven't been delivering as of lately.
well, but then Hype Cave was pretty good.
Hype Cave was pretty good. 7 Chest Cave was pretty good. It was that mini Moldorm cave that was completely terrible.
Oh, Hype Cave had the hook shot, right? That's even more unfortunate. You'd think missing some locations every now and then, you could just happen. It would just happen to be one of the billion fortune tellers shops or, you know, fairy fountains. It's very unfortunate that the 2 locations you overlook happen to be 2 very key and game-changing items. It's very unlucky.
Yeah.
So I imagine at this point, PikaPals is going over his notes, but just as I start to speak, he's moving. Though I'm not sure to where. I wonder if he's found it now. This is at least the right flute location.
Hopefully.
Yep.
All right, PikaPals is back in this finishing.
And that bomb thrower. He bombed me in the same way when I went in.
To reiterate too, this is not an elimination match. PikaPals is still will be advancing to the losers bracket finals, and don't count him out yet. He's already proven that he could eliminate the tournament favorite, so he still has plenty of racing to be done. Ganon Tower climb. He's got his bow. He's got everything he needs. Just have to finish this, go kill Armos Knights and Ganon, and he's good to go.
That's right, there's still a few things left to do, but at least the path is very clear for him now. As he switches over to Silvers.
So who's going to be the one to break the news to him that the mitts were free?
That's not necessarily a responsibility I want to take on. We will probably not do that in this chat. I'm just talking to Feasel, and they are setting up for the next run, which will be an Earthbound race. So nice. We'll see if we'll see how long that takes to set up and where PikaPals is. We might play out this race, or we might switch over.
Hey, it's got roughly around 7 or 8 minutes left, I think. Or like 5 minutes if you have a gym gauntlet.
Yes, I want to thank Jim again for showing me those fire rod strats for the gauntlet. That is now my preferred way to run up the gauntlet.
Yeah, fire rod is pretty nice there, if you have half magic.
Oh, yes. Without half magic, I'm not trying that.
Yeah, we were claiming to chat, just go ahead and clip all of your room. This is how you should do this, you know, we have a little manual of the right way to do it.
Oh, I feel flattered.
Oh, you did excellent, man.
PikaPals does get a perfect Moldorm fight, or Landmo fight, with the silver arrows there.
That's where I can learn from.
I wasn't gonna say it. Yeah, noticeably, silver arrows, you can kill the landmos quicker than using just bombs and no sword.
Funny how that works out.
Oh, PikaPals had tempered sword whenever he went and killed Lammo 2. Or Lammo 1.
Oh, that was probably pretty convenient.
Fun little
yes.
route difference.
His Landmo fight was, I'm sorry to say, a lot faster than yours.
That surprised me.
No book yet. There's the blue cane.
So still not sure where that book would be. I'm thinking it must be somewhere in the eastern part of Pod.
I think that's the only thing that's left at this point, isn't it?
Or pedestal.
Well, pedestal was money, I think.
Oh, right, we could have seen that. Good point.
Yeah, the closing credits from Gem told us it was money.
There was the hammer pegs too. I don't know if you
Oh right, those yeah.
if you still had any single entrance caves with any value to them left.
Let's see. Yeah, the the hammer peg cave. I said, I think.
Vanilla hammer peg?
Like the actual cave that would be.
Yeah.
Hammer pegs. Yeah. I don't think I had found that, or maybe I just forgot to mark it.
Oh, that's right, and PikaPals won't be checking that because that is behind the Titan's Mitt.
Yeah. That's a good point. We'll never know.
So PikaPals remembers that he has not completed all the dungeons yet.
I think at this point I would have hopped in there on accident.
I mean, you can hop in there, and Ganon will just very nicely remind you that you can't do anything.
He actually doesn't do it very nicely, especially if you push him to his later phases. He actually gets more and more rude as the fight goes on.
I mean, I don't blame him. If some hero drops into my house and wants to fight me, I want him to be able to fight me, not have to give up halfway through. He's just wasting my time at that point.
I still want the seed that has Ganon at the escape drop, and it forces an Aga 1, and then you have to go back into Hyrule without the mirror, so you have to fight Ganon just to drop down into escape to get into Hyrule Castle. Make this happen.
Grand finals.
I'm gonna try and lobby for Chaos and Sanity for all my matches moving forward. I want a mirror. I'm tired of not having one.
I will tune in for those matches if you can make it happen.
I don't think anyone's gonna agree to do it, but man, I'm for it. I'm 100% for it.
Boy, you
I'd
take
rather-
away Axe Mirror for one seed, and suddenly he wants a mirror.
1 seed?
100% of the time.
This guy, he's crazy.
I kid, of course, and I didn't even see the match last night, so...
The match last night was mirrorless, but I just had that. That's it. Silver Arrow Armo should be pretty easy here.
Very nice fight.
Wow. If you blink, you missed it. Go ahead and clip that fight, and that's how you're supposed to do it.
What do I do with the other 25 seconds of my clip, though?
If you could put it on a loop and just play it 6 times.
So I think PikaPals must know where Ganon is here.
Yeah, you can take the shortcut.
Yeah, I find it a bit odd that he's so certain. I guess he just assumes that he checked the fairy cave at some point.
You make a very good argument, actually, there. I didn't think about that.
I think it got marked as checked somehow, because if he hadn't marked it, he might still be going there to try to fight Ganon.
I'll have to go back and check the VOD. Maybe he went in one way and like looked at the item and he didn't look at it correctly. I don't remember.
That's a possibility. I don't remember that happening, but the opening of an entrance shuffle is always very chaotic. It could very easily have slipped through.
I don't even remember, actually. That makes more sense, though. I was wondering why people were saying he'll find it, trying to find Ganon. It's like, what do you mean? But yeah, that makes perfect sense. that would have actually been really funny.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Are you doing the qualifier race later, Jim? Or are you crashing and taking a nap?
Nah.
Man, this guy.
Sleep is for the weak.
If you want to know what it takes to be a great Zelda rando player, take advice from Jim here. He's Eye of the Tiger, never stops. He was studying matches at 3 o'clock in the morning his time, and goes into his race, and he's ready to do another. He doesn't stop. He's an animal.
Well, I did take like 2 naps before I watched your match yesterday.
Well, that's very impressive considering I'm here yawning when my mic is off. I will not be doing the qualifier today, so I'll see anyone racing tomorrow in that qualifier.
I'll just apologize outright for the commentary I gave you, Jim. I couldn't even form words. I was so tired.
Nice.
Alright, second time through, PikaPals has cleaned up that fight.
Special bonus for this seed, if you finish it without the mitts, you get a 45-minute subtraction on your final time. So, no, unfortunately, that's not true.
If only. PikaPals has finished with an official time of 2 hours, 43 minutes, 22 seconds.
GG.
So, you know, I'm not going to say that run wasn't without errors, but I am very impressed that he managed to complete it without the mitts.
Incredible.
That was no mean feat. I think we're going to wrap it up here pretty quickly, because there is an Earthbound tournament, or an Earthbound race coming up.
If anyone needs an excuse why Full Shuffle is awesome and you should play it, look at this race.
Look at the fact that PikaPals missed an item that was available at the start and was still able to complete this race. I think that's pretty dang impressive. If you haven't done it already, do give a follow to these runners. They are both high-quality players of this game, and I look forward to seeing more from them.
Yeah, definitely give them both a follow. Jim plays all the time. Watch him play. Just watching him, you'll get better. I guarantee it.
I feel like I got better just watching this race. So yeah, congratulations again to Jem. Thanks to Magus for tracking. Thanks to Ack for commentating with me. PikaPals will still be in the lower bracket of this tournament, so he is by no means out. And stay tuned to this channel for some Earthbound, or stay tuned to Speed Gaming 1 45 minutes from now for the qualifiers.
You know what? Thank you for commentating with me, too.